students. Good evening. Let me just check my voice here. Good evening, guys. Good evening, everyone. Write something in the chat box so that we can be sure that you are listening to us. Good evening, guys. Durga Prasad, good evening, beta. Good evening. Okay, so good evening, guys. Good evening. Harsha, Sajid, good evening. Shinu, good evening. Good evening, Vamsi. Good evening, Karthik. Very good evening to all of you. Karthik, Rukala, good evening. Vinay, good evening. Anu, good evening. Teja, good evening. Sharanya, good evening. Akash, good evening. So you all have written the NEET paper this time, I believe. And Akash, good evening. Good guy, very good evening to good guy. Sheikh Sohail, good evening, beta. Teja, Vamsi, good evening. Okay, so you have written the NEET examination, okay, and you noticed your result. And you all notice one more thing, that if we work on it, we can, come in that bracket wherein we can get the category A seat. Selection means category A seat, okay? And depending upon our, cutoff, we all can work hard to get, or even not only cutoff, but even more than that. And when we work from the beginning, that is the best work anyone can do. Very intelligent students, they are in a dilemma. I'll do it myself. I'll do it at home, okay? And then joining us 3 months later, 4 months later. I tell you honestly, there are few who also joined us 2 months earlier than the examination. I'm not very sure about their result because I have not checked from that perspective कि उस बच्चे का कितना marks आया, right? But my belief is that those who start from the beginning, it is the best preparation we can do. Now, I am Dr. Anurag Verma and I'll be teaching zoology. I am one of the directors here. We are academic directors and we have a managing director. You know him, Mr. Narendra Garu. And I am here since the inception. In fact, this is my 8th year in Andhra. So now in my language also, in my family, I say that I'm going to my place, your place, like that. So all my family members say, "But tu to wahan ka ho gaya?" Yes, I now belong to Andhra. 8 years, enough. I have a house here. My passport, when it is renewed, it has got this name, the local name in my passport, and my Aadhaar card was actually made here only. Because we came from Kota, something happened in that particular years. For 2 years in Kota, in entire Rajasthan, though the Aadhaar cards were not made. So when I came here, my Aadhaar. Anyways, that is small, small introduction of myself. I am an MBBS doctor. I have done my MBBS from JLN MC Ajmer. JLN stands for Jawaharlal Nehru. MC means Medical College. JLN MC Ajmer. Ajmer is my hometown and it's a small town in Rajasthan. Okay, and I started teaching I did not even know that there is an industry, such industry is there, coaching or like teaching. I thought that these are just one-to-one type of tuitions. So I started, teaching in a small institute just so that, I can earn some, at that time, some 8,000, 5,000 rupees. And that money is enough for us to sustain. And we were like preparing, 2-3 guys were there, and we were preparing for our NEET PG examination. Yes, just like NEET UG, there is a NEET PG also. But then we don't know, I don't remember when it happened that slowly and slowly I was absorbed in this. And then I started liking this. And then I became a full-fledged teacher. Okay, so some basic terms. Okay, let me start with my daughter got 585. Okay, SUV regional applied Chalya. Uh, Sujata, ma'am, I think I am, I don't know this language, although I am here for 8 years, but I don't know the local language. Anyone who can translate. Meanwhile, for the selection purpose, every day Narendra Garu is taking meeting. He is a very good analyst, let me tell you. He analyzes, okay? So he's a very good analyst. And after, during the meeting, at the end of the meeting, he also give a chance that now you can unmute yourself and you can talk, just like a telephone call. So my suggestion is, rather than having something in that meeting, you will get a good idea. He will also show the data on board. And here only, in this place, the meeting will be, just like this type of. He'll be standing here and taking a classroom type. So my suggestion for that. Some students are asking for some basic terms which are very commonly used. Like one term is ventral, one term is dorsal, lateral, superficial. So let us understand these terms, okay, first. Like there is a term called superior and superficial. Now superior means up, inferior means down. Superior, up, inferior, down. This is superior and inferior. Superior, inferior. Superficial is on the surface. Superficial, something on the surface. You understand? Like you have skin. The superficial lining of the skin is the dead cell layer. We can say like that. The superficial lining of the skin is the dead cell layer. That is superficial. Usually, you will get superior, inferior rather than superficial in only some. Okay, my daughter got 585. SPU regional OC can apply only AP or both AP and Telangana. Sujata ma'am, you can just give me a buzz. You can just call me after this class, okay? And I'll be sitting with that person only who is having a list in front of him. And he also know these things. And I'm literally sorry that, these type of nuances, I'm not very sure about that. Because this is something which is which has to be done very, very carefully. Okay? So right now the classroom is going on. After that, Pakka, promise, I'll be helping you out on this ground. Pakka. And congratulations for your daughter's marks. 585 is indeed very good marks. So applause for that. Very good. I was discussing about superficial, inferior, superior, inferior, and superficial, right? Then very commonly term used are dorsal and ventral. Dorsal, ventral are very commonly, these terms are used. Now just try to understand the meaning of the word and then it become easy for us. Actually, ventrum means tummy, belly, belly. This is belly, ventrum, right? So whichever is the belly side, belly, that is ventral. And opposite to it is dorsal. So this is my ventral surface. Okay, the whole surface, belly side, this is my ventral surface. Opposite is dorsal. Or I also give one trick to my students to learn BD. Always remember BD. B for back, D for dorsal. Back is dorsal. So our back is dorsal. Like that also you can remember. So this is ventral surface. Also you can say anterior. In our body, anterior and ventral are same. In humans, okay, in humans, anterior and ventral surfaces are same. So we can use them anterior and ventral. Okay? And similarly, we can use posterior, and we can use dorsal. Okay? Either we can use dorsal for it or posterior. These terms are commonly used. Superior, inferior, yes, it is used. Then another term to understand is medial and lateral. Medial. Just understand the median line. Better, this is the median line, which can divide me into two equal halves. My median line. Okay? Now, anything closer to median line is medial. Okay, I'll discuss mesodermal also, pakka promise. Anything which is closer to median line is medial, and away from the median line is lateral. Towards the median line, medial. Away from the median line is lateral. Okay, so there is a median line. Okay, there is a median line in all the body which are bilaterally symmetrical. For example, this is the median line, okay? The median line. This is, or the median plane, I can say, the median plane. No, okay. So anything which is closer to this will be called medial. Now you have to compare 2 points. Point 1 and point 2. Let's compare them. Point 1 and point 2. These are all comparative terms. Okay. Now, we can say that point 1 is lateral to point 2. 1 is lateral to point 2, or 2 is medial because it is closer to the midline. Closer to the median line. Okay. So in bodies which are bilaterally symmetrical, we can use these terms medial, lateral. So we have got medial surfaces and lateral surfaces. For example, like if I show you the lungs, okay, so now you can understand what will be the medial and what will be the lateral of the lungs. Now these are lungs, okay? So this is an midline, we assume is here somewhere, midline. So this surface of the lung is medial and this surface is lateral. Why I said that? Because this surface is closer to the midline. I'll make one line here, but you can make it any imaginary in the mind. Okay. So closer to the midline. Therefore, this surface is called medial. This is medial and this is lateral. Similarly, now here 3 lobes are there. 3 lobes. This is right lung, and right lung, as you all know, that there are 3 lobes in the right, 3 parts, we call them lobes. Okay? In fact, we can say 3 parts, and these parts are called lobes. In the left lung, there are 2 lobes. 2 parts, 2 lobes. Okay? So, very easily, we can name them as this is superior, middle, and inferior lobe. This one is superior, this is middle, not medial. Medial is a different thing. Medial, lateral are always comparative. This is a middle, superior, middle, and this one is inferior lobe. Now this one would be, tell me, ये क्या होगा बताओ? This is this one, tell me. This one, what should be the name of the largest of the left lung? The name of the largest part of the left lung. Come on. Anyone can answer, bachcho, please? The teacher will feel excited if students answer something. Okay, maybe right and wrong, that's a different thing. What shall, considering these terminology, what shall I call this part of the left lung? There is some lag in the chatting or there something. Yes, bacha. So I got the answer. Now many answers can come. So the first answer given by Visheshya, Sajid, Durga Prasad, Ramya. Okay, very good. Correct answer. This is superior. Think of it. When this is superior, lobe, this is also called superior lobe. Superior. Like we say in offices, we say we have to respect our superiors. Up, those who are up in rank. In defense forces, they have to salute their and respect their superiors. Superiors means something up. Opposite to that is inferior. Superior, inferior. Same in the body. This is upper side, superior lobe. This one is inferior lobe. Make sense? Okay. And this surface, what shall we call? We have to compare these two surfaces. Okay. What shall we call this surface? This surface, tell me. I have to write this. I'm just surface. Okay. And you have to fill here. Yes. What is this outer surface can be called? Any other name for this outer surface of the left lung? This one. To avoid confusion, I'll color it differently. Okay, this one. This surface, outer surface. Huh, beta? Anyone who can answer? Yes, this is lateral. Oh my God, now answers are coming very fast. Yes, so this one is lateral surface. Lateral surface. Very good. So you understand medial lateral. Okay, now I'll show you something that I'll show you the diagram of kidney. Okay, I'll show you kidney. And we'll make a kidney structure. And this is called hilum. Okay. From this place, hilum, the arteries like which artery goes inside? Renal artery. Okay. And which vein comes outside? Which vein comes? Renal vein. Anything else comes out? Yes. The ureters come out. Ureters. Okay. So I'll make ureters somewhat like here. These are the ureters, and they all are related to this point or this surface, and this is actually called hilum. Now, my question to you is hilum. How will you define hilum? Hilum is a medial or the lateral curvature. Is a dash curvature of kidney. Now you have to fill up this. Come on. Hilum, yes, you are right. Hilum is a medial curvature. Very good. Medial curvature, medial concavity, medial curvature, medial concavity, medial curvature, medial concavity. I believe that you are now getting some idea about the medial and lateral. And let me now ask you something about the dorsal and ventral more, so that I'll be sure that you understand. I'll just check whether we have a connection here so that I can ask you. No. Let's see what it comes out to be. It's a beautiful cat came out. I wanted a diagram of a cat body parts. I think this is good. Cat body parts, our purpose it can fulfill. Okay. Now, few terms, keeping in mind this beautiful animal. Okay. Now, you see, this is the head and this is the tail. Now, we can call the head because the brain box is called cranium. So we can call this head as all this end of this head, okay? This end as cranial end. We can call this as cranial end, this end, okay? And this end we can call as caudal end, beta, got it? Caudal end. This end is caudal end. Cauda, tail, cauda, C-A-U-D-A. Our terms are like that only, and you are going to join medical college where so many terms are like that, so many terms. Okay, cauda means tail. Yes, in medical we have a term cauda equina. Okay, bifida, cauda bifida. So we have some terms, we use this. So some people have disease of this end. So that is called caudal end. And the head side is the cranial end. Now, bacha, if I am moving this side, I am going cranial. If I am moving this side, I am going caudal. If I am going this side, this is cranial, and if I am going this side, I am going towards the caudal. Okay, done? Wonderful. Now, what is the dorsal side? Okay. Now, apply that trick which I told you, something BD. I told you na, that if you don't want to think anything, just apply BD. Ha, bacha. So, how will you say? How will you say that? Okay. Back, yes, beta. This back, this is the dorsal. This is dorsal side. And belly, ventrum. This is ventral. Dorsal, ventral. This is front, anterior. So this is anterior. Anterior means front, and that side is posterior. Little different from human body. This is posterior. In human beings, anterior and ventral are same, but anterior and ventral are not same in quadrupedal animals. Those animals who move on four legs, four-pedal legs, four-legged animals, in them, because they move like that, so anterior is the front side. Their front is this one, okay? My front is this side, and this is my ventral side also. So in human beings, anterior and ventral are same. But that is not same in case of the four-pedal leg. In that way, we can break the words and we can understand, okay? And I am the master of it. I'll break any word and try to give you the meaning of. So 99% we can learn from their root. For some of these names, we have to develop a habit of BK-fying. I call this trick as BK-fying, okay? Those who are my old students, they know BK-fying, okay? This is called BK-fying. BK-fying, BK stands for Batti Kottu. Batti Kottu Phi, okay? For some of the terms, it is better to Batti Kottu Phi. The present is the time of rote learning. This is, I mean, I'm not saying, I'm not promoting that you learn, you just Batti Kottu everything. I'm not saying. But even certain terms, for example, Okati, Rundu, Mudu, Nalugu, Ayadu, or what are these? Do I remember their roots? No, I don't know. I spoke them 2-3 times, listen them. BK-fied, it happened BK-fied. Language is learned by BK-fying. This word is not bad. Cramming is not bad. In Korea, there are special tutors. They are called crammers. And they are being paid very heavily, just like superstars. Just anytime you can Google and you'll find in Korea, students, they invest a lot of time in the school till their midnight, and there are teachers who come and make them cram the things. So better don't misunderstand this term. This is not a bad thing, okay? New words, new language we have to do. And how do we do that? We make it so many times. Keep hand on your chest and ask yourself, table of 2, did we understand at that time? Did we understand 2, 1 is 2, 2, 2s are 4? But we BK-fy that, 2, 1, 2, 1 ja 2. I mean, in Hindi, no, North Indian, we say 2, 1 ja 2, 2, 2 ja 4, like that, ja. When we came into college, then we realized that this is not ja, this is 2 2s are 4, 2 3s are 6, 2 times 3 like that, 2 4s are like that. But earlier we BK-fy that, and slowly and slowly now I am explaining you, na? 2 2s are 4, but beginning start with BK-fy. So it's not a bad word. Many of the terms, rather than going into the detail of their Latin or Greek terminology, even for many terms, even the scientists don't bother. Okay, they don't bother. Term is term. They also say BK-fy that. Okay. Earlier they thought that malaria happened due to some bad air. Okay, they say bad air, bad, mal. Mal means bad. Malware, malpractice, malnutrition. Mal means bad. Mal, and area. Okay, so the term become malaria. Malaria. Mal means bad. But they did not, they say, okay, BK-fy that. We know now it is caused by plasmodium, transferred by mosquito. ठीक है. Term is term. You understand? So we have to learn the things for many things. This only I gave an idea to you that we will utilize the power of BK-fying in answering many questions. Better, this is the drawback or the weakness of multiple choice questions. Multiple choice question method is the best method. But there is one drawback, and the drawback is this only. Sometimes you know the correct answer, but you yourself don't know how you get that answer. Right? You got the answer, but you got marks. But you really don't know that you take a chance on it or really you understood it. Right? Many questions are exactly repeated this year. Many questions. So one more thing I wanted to discuss with you, that please do not underestimate the importance of PYQs. But do not underestimate the importance of PYQs. When we start the track sheet means when we start the first chapter. And very, very soon I'm starting. I'm like fed up with all these basic, okay? If more basic things are there, I will discuss. Your doubts are there. Your doubts are my, they are my guide. So whatever you ask, I will understand that before starting the first chapter, what they should know. Okay, I'll share my number also for that. And when we start, I will give you homework. I will give you homework like today, 15 questions of exercise 1 of gym plus uh, do, for example, chapter name is lungs, breathing and respiration, breathing and exchange of gases, okay? So you have to do last 8 years paper of breathing and exchange of gases. All the questions that came in the last 8 years on breathing and respiration, breathing and exchange, this is your homework. And I'll be very strict on that. You will realize when we discuss that, I will understand those who don't do the homework, I can at least feel those vibes. And we will motivate them to do the homework. Okay? So do not underestimate the importance of PYQ. Please retain this year's paper also. Retain it with you. These are very important things. Do you remember if any one of you who has written the long term second time? Do you remember in 2022, 2-3 questions in the zoology part came which are exactly repeated now? Do you remember? Right? Exactly, they came exactly ditto. On that day when I was discussing the question paper, I told that. So never underestimate the importance of PYQ. This is one place where our student means the student of this area, Andhra, Telangana, particularly Andhra. This is the one place where we underestimate the importance of PYQ. And after December, from January, we will repeat them. I mean revise. We'll revise the PYQs. And revision means those questions, I'll tell you what questions we have to revise and what question we can just leave them. So at least 3-4 times we will do them, and this will help us exponentially. The moment you see a question where you are sure about the answer, and within seconds you get the correct answer, this will boost up our confidence, and this will also help us exponentially in the marks. Some more terms to begin with, then caudal cranial I told you, okay? And one more term in the last term, which I'll discuss today, which is proximal and distal, okay? Very commonly asked, proximal and distal, proximal and distal. Okay, now those who know Hindi, they can relate. Proximal matlab pass. Proximal means pass, near, closer, near. Okay, proximal, pass, near. Okay, and distal, dur, farther, dur. I think even the local word for dur is duram. Duram means something far. Okay, farther, near, farther. This is farther. Nearer, because we are comparing now, beta. So rather than near, I should write nearer. We are comparing 2 points. So one is nearer and one is farther, proximal. So the one which is nearer is proximal and the one which is farther is distal. Now the question is, what is the reference point? In different places, we keep the reference point differently. For example, if morphologically, if someone asks you morphologically, so I'll write here, nearer or farther from our reference point. Okay, this is important because without a reference, how can you say nearer? And beta, the reference point in morphology, the reference in human body is the trunk. That is, the trunk is the reference, our trunk. Anything, trunk, you understand? Trunk, the truncal part, this, skull, then vertebral column, and the rib cage, this entire thing. This is called trunk. And these are called appendages. We have two upper limbs and two lower limbs, or two forelimbs, two hind limbs. These are called appendages. What is appendage? Anything that shoot out from the trunk. For example, appendage in plants, we say appendage, right? The branches are appendages. Similarly, these arms, the legs, these are appendages of the main trunk. You understand? Got it, right? So these are upper limb, lower limb, upper limb, lower limb, or forelimb, hind limb, forelimb. I cannot show hind limb to you, but you can imagine hind limb. These are appendages. Now, anything closer to the trunk is called proximal, and away from that, farther from that, is called this. For example, my elbow and my wrist. Elbow and my wrist. Now, which one is proximal and which one is distal? If at least 10% of my student can answer correctly, I will be very happy. And then I will add 10% more energy after that answer. Okay, let me just see. Out of my elbow and my wrist, which one is proximal and which one is distal? So you have to write like this, huh? Very good, correct answer. Proximal is dash, correct, very good. And right, ऐसे लिखा ना बेटा, तो very good. अब मैं तो विशेष्या metla, okay, Visheshya gave the correct answer. Before that, Farida gave the correct answer, and after that Vinay just write incomplete answer, and Farida one correct answer, Kirtana correct answer, Vinay correct answer, Visheshya correct answer now. Earlier also correct, Jyotsana, beta Joshna beta, you have written elbow. Elbow is what? Okay, then Yehoshua, very good, correct answer. Even if you write one, for example, if you say elbow is proximal, suppose if you say, obviously the remaining is distal. So that is, I'll consider that as a complete answer. Okay, very good, beta, very good. Shrinu, correct answer. Sahiti, correct answer. Oh my gosh. Durga Prasad, correct answer. Sajid Hussain, correct answer. Naveed, elbow, very good, correct answer. Very good. Shrinu, very good, correct answer. And Yehoshua, correct. Both the time you have given the correct answer. And Joshna, correct answer now. Joshna, now your answer is complete. Very, very good. So, Pawan beta, आपने लिखा है elbow. My question is yes. Tejasri, correct answer. Pawan Kumar, you can just say elbow. After elbow, you can just write proximal or distal. I will understand that, okay? So, yes, very good. Tejasri, correct answer. Sheikh Sohail, and correct answer. Very good. So rather than 10%, now I think more than 50%. Very good. Most of the names I could not read because of going so fast. Very good. Bless you. Very good. So, beta, you have seen this is the most proximal. The shoulder, followed by the elbow, followed by the wrist. Okay. So in this order, we have proximal and distal. It's closer to a reference point. You can learn the word, common name, and the other is your means duram only. We can learn duram. D for distal, D for duram. D for distal, D for duram. That means the other one is closer. And can you tell me what the word for closer? What the duram? What is opposite of duram? Anyone can write. What is opposite to duram? How you say that? The opposite antonym of duram. Yes, you have written degara, 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 dagara. Very good, dagara. Am I right? Dagara, dagara, dagara. Good. Dagara, dagara. Good. Dagara. Okay, very good. So duram, dagara, duram, dagara. Dagara, duram. Okay, proximal, distal. यार तुम्हारे गड़बड़ हो जाएगा यार, डी दोनों में आ रहा है. So both are starting with D. So you have to do something else, okay? Or now it is so easy now. You learn them. Proximal, nearer, okay? DHA. Okay. Da. Okay. DHA. Da. Dha. Dhagra. Okay. Dhagra. Daggar. Okay. Daggar. Okay. I promise to every one of you, I will learn the exact correct pronunciation of both the words from anyone or maybe Google. On the next turn, I will be starting with exact pronunciation of Daggar. Okay, and Duram is fine, Duram, but here what is the problem? Both are starting with D, so we have to follow something else. Okay. Similarly, we know that we use proximal convoluted tubule. Why we say like that? Because again, there are two convoluted tubule. The word convoluted means something which is very coiled, convoluted. And tubule is miniature of tubule, something very small tube is called tubule. Now you know that in nephron, when you study the nephron, you find that at two places there are convolutions. Convolutions means those foldings and coiling. Okay, so two places convolutions are there. So now they have kept the reference point. Okay, now what the scientists have done? Scientists have kept this as the reference. So now this is your reference. And what is this? You all know. This is Bowman's capsule. And why they have kept it as a reference? Because this is a very important structure. This is also the filtering place where the blood is filtered. Okay? Anyone who know the full name of it? Any name which is based on some scientist, which is the combined word for this. This is called some dash capsule. Okay, this is the word starting with okay, what is this? You can tell me. Okay, this, as you have seen, I will say the word started with G, at least, okay, the beginning one. And this is dash body, yeah, dash corpuscle, dash body, yeah, dash corpuscle, okay, dash body, yeah, dash corpuscle. And this is hint, this is name of a scientist. Okay, so here start number 1 and number 2 and number 3. I know that this is easier for you, but just to begin with, what is number 1? Number 1 is most important. Yes, correct. Number one. Everyone has to answer number 1 first. Number 1. Manasa, correct answer. Vinay, correct answer. Vijay, correct answer for number 1. Visheshya, very good, correct answer. Sri Ram, correct answer for number 1. Yes, Katam, correct answer. Okay. You have given all 3. Okay. Very good, correct answer. So many. Joshna, Vijay, Sri Ram, and Naveed. Vinay, all giving correct answer. Tejasri, correct answer. Rakesh Kumar, correct answer. There are two Sriram here. Both Sriram, correct answer. KKUK, correct answer. One is very good. Very good, beta. So many names. I bless all of you. I'm not able to really read at that pace. One is Malpighian. This is Malpighian. This is this capsule is Bowman's capsule, Bowman's. And this one is glomerulus. This is glomerulus, okay? We write first glo, okay? After that we write meru. Then we write lus. Glomerulus, glomerulus. This is a tuft of capillaries. It is a bunch of capillaries. Bunch or tuft of capillaries, tuft of capillaries, that is glomerulus. I think here also you understand that there are convoluted tubules. In this structure, if you recall that there are convolutions at two places, you remember that? Then we have this structure. After that, we have got this structure, and then we have this structure. Okay. So let me make it somewhat, which looks like real. This is. Some people are, and a common doubt people have, that what about the deleted chapters? Will they be asked? But there is nothing called deleted chapters as such. Okay. In chemistry, some teacher were saying that they have really removed that, and this year 2 questions they have asked from some point. Okay. So we don't know. In competition, we cannot claim like that. Okay. So the deleted portion is also not that much deleted. So my suggestion, and not only my suggestion, my entire college suggestion is that we have to do it completely. We are going to do completely. Okay. So yes, first year, no change. When we are starting the track sheet in zoology, also I made the track sheet. First year, no change. Second year, little change. How? The digit portions are kept for the last. Means if they mention that only the NCERT syllabus is the syllabus for the test, or purposefully they remove, because this time I think CBSE is conducting, not the NTA. If they take off those portion when they publish the syllabus, then we can do those portions very fast. We can leave something, but if they don't say anything, if the syllabus is same as this year, then in the last we will do those topics. First year, no change. First year, no change. Okay, beta? Very good. So this portion, this is a convoluted tubule. Very good. Some people have already answered. And very good. This is a convoluted, because it is coiled, folded, convoluted tubule. There is another convoluted tubule here, okay? And then this is a loop of Henle, and this is a collecting tubule or the collecting duct, okay? Forget about that. Now, since in anatomy, two structures do not have or cannot have the same name, how it is possible, how we will refer then, okay? How we can say that in which tubule sodium reabsorption is more, how we can say in which tubule a hormone aldosterone act, okay? So we have to differentiate these two. For that purpose, we call this one, now we use the word proximal and distal because it is closer to this point of reference, and the point of reference is, as you all have answered just now, this Malpighian body. This is the Malpighian body, which is the combined term for this capsule plus the glomerulus, the capillary. The combined term for the capsule and the capillary inside is Malpighian Pigeon body or Malpighian corpuscle. Fine. This is kept as a reference. This convolution is closer, Dagara, and this convolution is Duram. Okay. So we use again same closer. We use the word proximal, and this one is called distal. After that, we call them PCT and DCT. We don't even elaborate them. Okay. Once we understand proximal and distal, then we simply say PCT and DCT. But the why we are calling them and the real meaning of the word proximal and distal. But in human anatomy also, terminology play a very important, because see, how will you like advise a driver to go somewhere? You will give a map, and on the map you will give, so the map has got some reference points, and then you will say take a right turn, take a left turn, go straight. And if the driver does not understand your language of go straight, drive slowly, take a right turn, stop here, he cannot drive your car properly. Same problem, same thing in the body. How come we can refer to any study? How come we can say, for example, in surgery? In surgery, the books write, for example, to operate some point, some part of the body. They say, give a 3 centimeter deep incision, move proximally or cranially, or in the body we say superiorly, go 5 centimeter superiorly. Then take at an angle of 60 degree, go lateral. Now you know that how much deep mentioned. Okay, that is simple. We have given an incision on a point. Incision means cut. After that, the book writes you have to move superiorly. Now, whether I am standing or lying down, superior is same, because we all give reference with reference to the anatomical, the anatomical body. And the anatomical body, I'll tell you what that anatomical position is, okay? I'll tell you. But we have given an incision, cut. Then they say, go laterally. Unless you know what is lateral. Angle, theek hai, angle we have done in lower classes. Unless we know we have to go this side or that side, we will mess up with the things, you understand? So that is the reason these in anatomy, we are very particular about the terms. Whenever you say something which is written as this artery is superior artery, superior ulnar, superior, that means pakka there is something inferior. Whenever you find proximal convoluted tubule, pakka in the body there is something distal. Whenever you find, in this way only, whenever something is anterior, something will be posterior also. Even the first year guys, I'm telling you this. Whenever you find anything where the prefix is used to define then opposite of it will also be there in the body. Reason being same. We cannot give two structures same name. There is a classroom. In the classroom, there is a boy called Vishal, and that is true. I'm telling you, my class second story. And Vishal, and both are Vishal Sharma. So even the surname cannot help them. And honestly, I'm not just making it just to give my example. No, it is a true story. So Vishal Sharma, and both are Vishal Sharma. Teachers had a problem. How to ask the roll call attendance. Vishal Sharma, which Vishal will give answer. The answer copy. So many things problem happening. Then they call the parents and the principal, and then the initial of their father was put in between Vishal and Sharma. I still remember. So officially, one is Vishal N. Sharma Narendra, N, the father's name. And one is Vishal J. Sharma. I'm forgetting what J, Jaswant or something. Vishal J. Sharma. Otherwise, same problem in the body, right? So these are the anatomical terms. I was telling you about the anatomical position. Now, there is, in the human body, there is an anatomical position. And all the reference points are given with respect to the anatomical position. Ante. Anatomical position of man is a man standing straight, eyes facing forwards, and the hands open and facing forward. So this is open and this part, my palm part, is forward. So I'll be standing like this. Okay, since the camera cannot come down, I cannot show you. My point is, this is my, so always you will find that the thumb is lateral and the little finger is always medial. You got that point? Understood? Right. Now, in that, I was telling you in that example, what I'm trying to tell you, that superior remains same. Whether I am upside down, I am doing Shirshasana, whatever my position is, superior, inferior, superficial, deep, all these things, they will remain same because all of them are given with respect to the anatomical position. Anatomical position. Anatomical position. I was telling you about this thing, anatomical position. Yes. But so this is the anatomical position. You can see this one, better this one. Anatomical position. Your clock is behind. Okay. यार ये कैसे करना है? Automatically updated. It's asking some malware. We'll take this one. Anatomical position. Okay. So human anatomical position is a man standing straight, eyes facing forwards, and palms are open, hands open, palms facing forward. In anatomy, the hand is not this complete. This complete is called, what is happening? Just give me a second, I'll just try to manage. Yes, this is giving allow. If I allow it, yes, this is the anatomical position. But so you can see the anatomical position, okay? Anatomical position, man standing straight. You can see that the hands open and palms are in front. That means the thumb is always lateral and the little finger is always medial, always. Thumb is lateral, little finger is always medial. This you have to understand. And beta, please understand, this complete thing is not hand. This is not hand. Only this part is hand. Yes, it may look weird to some of you. Only this is hand. What is this completely? Forearm. Or sorry, upper limb or forelimb. The complete thing we can call upper limb and forelimb. Generally for human body, we use upper because fore again means front. We are not moving on four legs, so we can call it, this complete is upper limb. Upper and limb. Okay, what is this part between, shoulder and elbow? This part. This is called arm. Arm. Between elbow and wrist, this is called forearm. I'll write here, forearm. Forearm. ये वाला है arm. Arm between shoulder and elbow. Elbow and wrist, forearm. And what is this? I told you, this is, yes, hand. Some of you recall, this is hand. So we have got three parts of the upper limb. What are those parts? arm, forearm, hand. Malli, arm, forearm, hand. Arm, forearm, hand. More than that, what is important is the thumb. The thumb is always lateral. Thumb is always away from the midline. That means the thumb is considered to be lateral. Okay. Now, if anyone can answer this one, then promise whenever I see you, maybe you join us or not, irrespective of that, I will give you a big chocolate. Minimum cost 100 rupees. Minimum. Okay. Tell me, and don't see the answer because that is cheating. Okay. Tell me, there are two bones in the forearm. We know that radius and ulna. Radius and ulna. Radius and ulna. Okay. Can anyone tell me which one is medial and which one is lateral? I will understand your answer whether you are answering from your mind or you are copying the answer. I can understand from your answer. Come on. Radius ulna. Very good. Just tell me. Joshna, beta, sorry, answer is wrong. Kings FF, answer is wrong, beta. Visheshya, आप लोग उल्टा क्यों बोल रहे हो? Shrinu, Shrinu has given the correct answer first time, but I don't know whether he has given it. Shrinu answer is correct, and Durga Prasad Bachcha answer is correct. Very good. Ab Anil Kumar, wrong, beta. Kalam, correct answer. Kalam, Ramya Royal, correct answer. K. Okay, correct answer. Sayyid, correct answer. Sajid Hussain, he has given answer with conviction. And the prize goes to Sajid Hussain. Okay. Because he has given that completely. I don't know whether he has copied the answer or not. Because he has also put a comma in between. So maybe he has got a very good writing skills. Or that is his honesty. But Sajid Hussain is given absolutely correct answer. That radius, now how to understand that? Anyone who know that whenever we feel the artery, whenever we feel the artery, we feel the radial artery. Here we feel radial artery. When the doctor touches, he touches radial artery. Look where he touches. He touches above the thumb. We know that this is radial artery. He touches above the thumb. That means this side is the radial side. So artery, vein or bone, anything here is radial and anything this side is ulnar. Whether artery, nerve, there is an ulnar artery, ulnar bone, ulnar artery, ulnar nerve. Similarly, radius, radial artery, radial nerve. You understand? So, this is just a correlation if anyone has given. Sajid Hussain has given absolutely correct answer. And yes, radius is toward thumb. Shri Ram, YT, correct answer. Radius is toward thumb. Manish, radius lateral and ulna medial. Yes, correct. You're right. Hari Surya, radius is medial and ulna is lateral. ना बच्चा, radius जो होता है ना वो thumb के ऊपर radius है, ठीक है? Thumb and just above the thumb is radius. Okay, learn like that. Thumb above the thumb is radius, and thumb is lateral, so radius is lateral. But don't worry, in the first year you will be because radius and ulna will come in our examinations also. In human physiology, we have one chapter, movement and locomotion. In the skeletal system, this question comes that which one is lateral and which one is medial. You all are very much firm with what is the meaning of medial, what is the meaning of lateral, and also now you know that thumb. So some tricks if you can play. And but lastly, I will just discuss something with you, and these are also important for our examination. I don't know how better this diagram is for that, but there are certain planes. Okay, now First of all, you have to notice that basically there are two types of planes. One is longitudinal and one is transverse. One is longitudinal, one is transverse. The longitudinal run along the long axis, or it is parallel to the long axis. This is longitudinal, longitudinal, longitudinal. And perpendicular to that is transverse. Perpendicular to longitudinal is transverse. So all these are transverse planes. All these transverse planes. And all these planes are longitudinal plane. But when we are describing the longitudinal plane, we come to a point that how to differentiate these two. Whether longitudinal plane is going from front to back like this, or going from ear to ear. I mean to say, when you cut the body, which one is longitudinal? I'll take something to cut my head. I'll cut my head here. Okay. Oh my God. It's looking scary. Scary. Yes. Okay. Good. So I'm cutting my head. Now, which one is longitudinal? Whether this plane, if you cut my head like this and give me two parts, equal parts, whether this is longitudinal plane or this plane. If you cut my head like this, my body like that, so you have one part is where the belly is, one part where the back is. Which one is longitudinal? And answer is both are longitudinal. Both are longitudinal. So, how to differentiate them? Now, the term for them is, one is called coronal. Both are longitudinal. Longitudinal planes can be further divided into two parts. Or we can say these two both are longitudinal planes. One is coronal. As if I am wearing a crown. I am wearing a crown. As if I am wearing a crown. Here it doesn't look like even a crown or like this. Coronal. The meaning of corona everyone know. Not only you and me, the whole world know the meaning of corona. Corona is a round crown which is worn by, maybe a corona we can see around the sun, or around corona at the back of our God. Okay, so God we make corona. Actual meaning of corona is a round crown. Actual meaning. Okay. Now here we are just क्या परेशानी है हाँ जी बेटा so as if I am wearing a crown, the term is here is coronal. They say this is coronal, or to learn it from ear to ear, this plane is coronal. No doubt longitudinal hai, under the longitudinal this is coronal, and perpendicular to the coronal is sagittal. This is coronal and perpendicular to this sagittal. Coronal, sagittal, sagittal, coronal, ear to ear, and perpendicular to this sagittal. Now, if I write a question on the board, let me just see how. I think you understand, beta. You understand? Very easily you can see in this artistic diagram. So you can see this one is sagittal, sagittal, and this one is coronal, coronal, sagittal, coronal. Okay, got it? Sagittal, coronal. These terms are also used. Sagittal, coronal. In some places, this term is used. I don't know whether you understood or not, but answering one question can make me sure, and you also, whether you understand this or not. My question is, dash plane divides the body into two lateral halves. Dash plane divides the body into two lateral halves, because we know that we are bilateral. So in bilateral symmetry, we can say, and yes, symmetry also I have to explain you. But before that, options are 1, 2, 3, and 4. Your options are transverse, then sagittal, then mid-sagittal, which is not in the middle, we call it parasagittal. sagittal में दो जी आते हैं ना, sagittal 2G, I think. Sagittal, I have written both the spelling. sagittal, okay, parasagittal, and the fourth one is coronal. Okay, now mid is something in middle, and para means which is not in the middle. Para literally means which is away from the middle is para, and mid is middle, the one which is in middle. 1, 2, 3, 4. The question in front of you, come on, answer, and let me first myself see the correct answer. Yes, now I saw it. And yes, please, very good. Here 100% of you are giving the correct. Actually, those who are answering, they are giving the correct answer. I can say that 100% of you are giving the correct answer. Very good, beta. Very good. Mid-sagittal, this plane divides the body into two lateral halves. Hey, sorry. If I write two equal halves, ठीक है, half है ना, half. That means only mid-sagittal. Correct. Parasagittal will be little away from the mid. The one which is not in the mid is para, and coronal is from ear to ear. So that is not going to give the correct answer. Okay, bachcho, you got this one. Okay, and let me just say, in body symmetry, you know that something is symmetric, something which is not symmetric. In fact, symmetry will come in the first, when we start the first chapter. I think in the first day only I will discuss about the symmetry. The basis of classification. There are 6 bases of classification. And let me tell you, 40-50% questions which have come in this chapter have come from the basis of classification only. So we will do that there, okay? Symmetry beta, symmetry sab kar lenge apan, theek hai? When we start the basis of classification. Don't worry, very soon, maybe on the next one only, I will start the chapter Animal Kingdom, okay? Let me just see if anything which is left or any other doubt that you have, we can discuss that, or else, okay? So we'll go back to those diagrams and browser is plain. It is saying, okay. So let me see what it shows. Sagittal 2T. I think the first diagram, the first spelling was correct. The first spelling that I wrote was correct. Sagittal 2. Okay. How beautiful this one. Wonderful. Okay. Beautiful. And if you do this, class will be over. You do this, class will be over. Identify red, yellow, green, the blue is not actually clearly visible. Well, let us see, because ये थोड़ा सा कट तो रहा है ना, and 4. Just 4 identification and today's session will be over. Guys, 1, start with the 1. Be careful, there are 2. So we have to write the prefix also. Let me check, let me come here and check your answers. So red is, you are saying mid-sagittal, very good, correct answer. And then you are writing that